Good evening. Welcome once again to another super exciting edition of So Into Bourbon. Charlie, tell them what we're doing tonight.
Tonight we have two offerings from Westfork Distillery.
All right, Charlie, Westfork.
Yes.
I had never even heard of this distillery.
Yeah, they're new-ish.
For a few weeks ago. So tell me just a little bit about, I see Hugh Hamer.
Yeah.
I've seen, what is Old Hamer?
Old Hamer, yeah. A lot
So
of people
is
say
this
Old
the
Hammer because we're bad at reading.
And they don't know that, yeah.
Yeah, it's Hamer.
Grammar.
It's Hugh Hamer. So I was visiting family in Indianapolis area, and my brother said, we're going to Westfork Distillery. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. He goes, they got a restaurant there. It's in Westfield, Indiana, which is north of Indianapolis. And we went, and I was blown away. Place is amazing. It just opened. Their brand new, state-of-the-art agritourism venue. Just opened in August of 2022. They have a 30-foot column still. They're running their stuff. The company itself has been around since 2015. And they are a grain-to-glass distillery, and they have an excellent restaurant.
Grain-to-glass, gotta love it. So they've only been around since 2015.
2015.
So Old Hamer has only been around since 2015?
Yeah, that's my understanding, yeah. And
This
Old Hamer is a resurrected brand or a name.
Okay, that makes sense.
So there may have been there was Hamer bourbon way back when.
Okay.
In the early 1800s, there was a farm in Spring Hill, and it changed hands a couple of times. Eventually the Hamers got it, and they made whiskey.
Makes sense.
And now we're back, 2023, and Hamer's making whiskey again. Ask me the mash bill on that Hamer.
What's the mash bill on it?
It is 99% corn and 1% malted barley.
That's easy to remember.
That is easy to remember, and for a lot of you, you may, if you're hearing it as I'm hearing it, you may have went, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be any good, but the offering we have tonight is a Hugh Hamer double oaked.
Double oak, check.
103,
Always love double oak.
103 proof,
103 proof.
check, and it's a single barrel. Boom.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready to try it. What's the age on it?
Age is over 4 years. 4 years
Okay.
plus that's what they disclose. So
And we're drinking this one first.
we're going to do this one first.
Okay.
So Hugh Hamer, if you see a Hugh Hamer instead of an Old Hamer, Hugh Hamer is their finished series. So they have a double oaked and they have a port.
I saw a couple other selections on the shelf at Meijer the other day.
Yep.
I believe there was maybe was it a Cabernet
They
Cask?
do have a Cabernet cask
And
that I
then-
tried there.
What was the other one? I don't remember. French oak, maybe?
Or,
I don't know.
or just
I could
a
be
cask
wrong. I don't
strength.
want to.
So we're going to drink this, and then I'm going to talk about the distillery and just how awesome it is and how nice everyone is. So this is a pick for Central Indiana. I got this actually not at the distillery. I got this at a local liquor store. 246 bottles.
It's a really nice looking bottle. It's nice. It's got a really nice color to
Dark.
it. Nice and
Awesome.
dark. Really dark copper. Almost like a caramel color to it.
Puts a ring around the
Yeah.
glass, man. It's got
So-
some legs.
It definitely looks good.
All right. So here's what I thought when I nosed. I was going to do that thing where I nose and I go, corn. It's not all corn.
No, it is, but it's not an off-putting,
Yeah.
just that hammer you, sweet corn, young
It doesn't
whiskey.
doesn't hammer
Doesn't
you.
hammer you. Yeah.
I think it has a
It's
very
not unpleasant at all.
pleasing nose.
And it was what?
103.
103?
Yeah.
It's not
No ethanol on
not
it.
a whole lot of ethanol on it.
Kind of sweet and savory on the nose.
I'm getting a little caramel.
Yeah, little. Yeah, I'm excited.
excited to try it.
Here we go.
You know what? It's got a little bit of bite on the back end,
Yep.
but that's a really nice tasting bourbon.
It has a level of spice to it that is hard to describe, because usually the baking spice, which is interesting that you get any spice in a 99%, right? Like the spiciness typically comes from the rye or the barrel. This has like a nice little kind of tickle your tongue spice to it that is just so pleasant and nice.
Yeah, the spice on this, I'm noticing it's on the back center of my tongue and on my throat, which a lot of times with a more like a high rye mash bill, you'll get the spice on the sides of your tongue.
Or tip of your tongue.
It's got a really nice flavor. Lots of caramel and vanilla.
It is.
Which, for double oaked, I mean, that's what you expect, right?
I really like that.
I do too.
I really like that. I paid $51.99 for that bottle for a single barrel. And I bought it because I knew I was going to Westfork. And I bought it because I knew we were going to do this episode after I went to Westfield.
It's really odd. The way it lands on my palate is really odd. Up front, smooth, very smooth and sweet. And it's all in the back of your mouth and in your throat is where that heat comes in.
It's like drinking 2 bourbons at once.
Yeah.
Like it is.
I don't mind it at all.
Sets a polarizing palate on it. But it is very unique and very good. And if you watch our episodes, the one thing you can't be is boring.
Right. It's not boring.
This is not boring. This is very unique. It's very different. I like this very much.
I do too.
I like it very much.
I really do.
So at the distillery and the restaurant is called MASH. It was delicious. What you expect from a distillery, right? Burgers and some pastas, and it's family friendly. My kids got burgers. They loved it. Appetizers and everything. Extensive drink menu. They also distill, of course, vodka and gin and a bunch of other stuff, and have a great cocktail menu. Had some really good cocktails. While I was there, I did get to sample Hamer 7-year age stated, which they had on the bar for tasting, but not for purchasing.
Oh, yeah?
The 7-year Hamer was very good.
And that's not this mash bill.
Oh, right. All Hamers are 99.1. That is my understanding. All Hamers are 99.1.
Oh, the Hugh Hamer.
Hamer. All. Old Hamer, everybody. My understanding is all the Hamers are 99.1. That is my understanding. If I'm wrong, you can write in the comments.
I'm sorry. This is Westfork. I'm sorry.
This is grain-to-glass.
Didn't mean to throw you off.
And that's what we're going to talk about next. So the Hamer line, which is their finished series, and the Hugh Hamer line, which is 99.1, is once. Absolutely, I already finished mine. What are you waiting for? The other line that they have is grain-to-glass, which is this elegant bottle you see here. If you've watched some of our episodes, any of our episodes, you know the other thing that I love is transparency. And the great thing about grain-to-glass is it is all transparent. So on the label, excuse me, Hugh, every label, it'll tell you what it is. This one's wheated. This is a cask strength. If it's a single barrel, it will have a single barrel. If it's a batch, it'll have 3. It tells you the proof. And then on the back, it tells you the recipe. So this is 100% wheated mash bill. The mash bill is right there, which is 73% corn, 17% rye, 73 corn, 17 wheat, 10 rye. It is 2+ years old.
2+.
2+. That's the age statement.
So I'm in high anticipation for Charlie to try this, because if there's anything I know about Charlie is he does not like wheated bourbons.
I do not.
I
do not like wheated bourbons.
Typically he doesn't. There are a few that he likes, but overall he's not a big fan of wheated bourbons.
But I do love cask strength, and I do love single barrels.
Neither one of us are big fans of 2-year-old bourbon. So
we are not, but this is going to bring up the point of why I bought this. So let's take a look. It looks like 2-year-old bourbon.
It does.
It is
very light.
Very light. 100 and...
I'm almost scared to taste this.
Are you?
Yeah. That's a lot of proof for a 2-year-old bourbon. I'll tell you what, the nose isn't bad.
It's got a nice nose.
It's got just a hint of alcohol on it, but for 121 proof 2-year bourbon, that's...
I get that, I don't get that wheat funk with this.
I don't.
I get the malty funk.
I don't get that. That's funny you said that because I don't get that at all. Although I will say, I do get a little acetone.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
A little bit.
Which makes sense. 2 years old.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens.
Cheers. You know what's interesting? Is this is what I expected the 99% corn mash bill to taste like.
I'm here to tell you.
And having said that, there's something there, almost like a floral note, almost like a Scotch or a.
I get where you're going. And this is what's interesting. I love it when plans come together. I said, and as you can see, we popped this one. We have never drank. The Hamer was like drinking two different bourbons, right? Like one bourbon that tasted up front and the finish was completely different. This is the same kind of deal. I get that really young kind of corn on the front, and then mid palate and finish, I get spicy rye spice and a little bit of that kind of sweet and savory of that wheat or maltiness.
Yeah, thank God there's wheat in the mash bill.
To mellow it out a little bit.
I think it mellowed it out.
But I like the sweet corn on the front.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for kind of that moonshine flavor.
I'm a little mixed on this one because so on this one you got a lot of
very little
heat on the back end,
Yeah.
but it didn't. There was no heartburn or anything.
103 to 121.
Right.
So
there's some heartburn
yeah,
here.
It's hot.
As I belch. Sorry. It reminds me of a Scotch almost.
Here's why I bought this. Because going to small businesses, craft distilleries, is awesome. And I've been thinking about this a lot. It's been a couple weeks since I've been to Westfork. I was thinking about this a lot. If you go to one of the big boys, the Heaven Hills or the Buffalo Trace or the Four Roses, you're just another body through the turnstile, another dash on a spreadsheet. They're happy you're there. They're going to give you an experience because they don't want you to blow them up on Yelp. Mm-hmm. But all in all, it's like Disneyland, right? When you go to these distilleries, the small distilleries, the Westforks and the Starlights and the Boone Counties, you get to know people there. Mm-hmm. Like they will take the time. And that's what happened with us. We met Cal there, who was kind of their bourbon steward, and he walked us around and talked to us. And they let you sample things. Like they want to give you an experience because they love what they do and they want you to love it. So you tell other people, and it makes a difference when you buy a bottle from them.
It does. And I just want to say there's some cool things happening in Indiana. Just saying.
Hoosiers.
I'm a Kentucky boy through and through, but Indiana's doing some things.
And if you get the really cool thing about Westfork and kind of where they plop down is right across the street from them is this sportsplex that sees 2.5 million visitors a year. It's like world renowned for like softball and baseball and soccer. So it's a really cool atmosphere. We were there on a Saturday at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and it was very quiet. And we're like, man, is it always this kind of quiet? And they're like, just wait. And then all of the soccer and the softball teams and everything and the families come, and it's just like they invade. And mom and dad love it because God knows you need a cocktail after a long day of watching softball. And number two, the kids love it because they get to hang out and the food's great. It's a really awesome place. It's worth checking out.
Sounds like a cool place.
It is an awesome place. I'm excited to go back. I want to do the tour. They have a whiskey thieving tour where you use a whiskey thief and right out of the barrel and taste it.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's not an experience you're going to get at, say, a Heaven Hill. I wish, but you're just not. So
excuse me if I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
So this bottle, the contents of this bottle,
99% corn.
it's not graintoglass?
That's a great question. I would assume it's graintoglass.
So it's all made there.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the line they call graintoglass.
Okay.
So if you see this line, the Westfork line is called graintoglass, and then the Hugh Hamer line is the line that is 99%.
I'm just so confused right now.
He just doesn't know what to do with
I really
his
am,
hands.
because there's this floral note on this that really reminds me of a scotch or like a single malt, and there's no malt in this mash bill.
I love interesting things. And what's awesome is if you're interesting at 2+ years old, what are you going to be like at 3+ and 4+ and 5+? And that's what's cool. So if you're in central Indiana, Indianapolis area or north or east, I mean, it's crossroads of America. I mean, we're pretty centrally located. Go there, try it out, have a burger, taste some stuff. My wife loved it. She bought a bottle of their vodka. It was great.
My wife used to live in Westfield, so it would be a good reason for us to take a trip. So
Take a trip,
show
see
me
some
all her
things.
old haunts.
Great. Not creepy at all.
Charlie,
Yes.
tell them what to do.
Number one, you got to like and subscribe. If you want to keep getting hard-hitting content like this, you got to click that like and subscribe button. You also have to follow us on our socials. Glenn, tell them about our socials.
You're going to go to Instagram, So Into Bourbon. You're going to go to Facebook, and we have a group, and we have a new Facebook page, which is public, which that's where I'm going to push you to. Go to So Into Bourbon, like, become our friend, love us.
We're letting all you weirdos in.
I don't know what else to tell you. Whiskey Realtor on TikTok.
Follow Glenn.
Most importantly, though, is subscribe here on YouTube. Hit the bell so that when we post a new video, you get a notification.
Smash that bell button.
You need more notifications in your life.
That's right. We're a shining beacon for your otherwise drab day.
Or it's what you fall asleep to at night.
We'll take what we can get. Just keep those views coming.
I'll take it. Charlie, tell them what to do.
Keep your wallets loose and your bungholes tight. Good night, everyone.
Peace out. Have you noticed I've started editing out here?
I hadn't noticed, but now I will. Super self-conscious about it.
Sometimes I'll leave it in, but
Yeah. Whatever. Fuck it. That was very mean. You know what? That's how it.
it gets a little overboard sometimes.
Oh, does it? You gonna tell Booker no that he
Sometimes.
Kentucky chews too long? I'm with
These
you, Booker.
microphones are very,
Oh, are they?
very sensitive.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Do it.
Are you tall enough to see over that bottle? Westfork Distillery. Action.
He's bent.